SuiteCRM is the world's #1 open source CRM, and it's comparable to products like Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Now, of course, a product like Salesforce costs for the most popular version $150 or around $150 per user per month, and Microsoft Dynamics is comparable to that. SuiteCRM, on the other hand, although it does everything that Microsoft Dynamics and Salesforce does, it is free. So you can literally save yourself thousands of dollars per month by using a product like SuiteCRM, getting the same sort of productivity you would from Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics, but instead of spending all of that money on the software itself, spend it on training. You're going to have to learn to use whatever product that you invest in, but unlike Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics, you can put that money directly into training instead of onto the software itself. This overview will look at the main features of SuiteCRM, including the leads module, the contacts module, the accounts module, task management and meeting management, calendaring, and so on. But SuiteCRM does so much more than that. This overview only really scratches the surface of SuiteCRM, but don't let that intimidate you. SuiteCRM, although it does a huge amount, it's a huge package, you only need to use the parts that you currently want to use. You can actually take modules out, you can customize the menus, you can simplify it for your use, and as you get better with it, as you learn more, then you can add other modules back in. So let's get started with the home page. Every user has their own customizable home page, which is effectively their dashboard. So here you can see the customizable dashboard, and you can add dashlets, you can move them around. I'm just going to add a calendar here for now. We will be looking at the dashboard later on in an actual training module. And you can see everything is drag and drop. You've got calls, meetings, tasks, accounts, leads, and so on. So the leads module is where you store your leads coming in. This is not business yet. Customers get stored in the contact and the accounts module. Leads are business that's potentially coming in, and we can add leads which we can later convert into a customer and an account. So the leads module allows you to add all of the regular information, name, address, phone number, email address, website, and so on. And these fields are totally customizable. If there is extra information you want to be able to store, we can customize and add new fields, and we can move around the fields. The display, the tabs, the way you want to see data is completely customizable, and we will be covering that in a later module. So let's just save this lead, and we'll come back to it later on. Now, for your regular customers, you're going to put them into the accounts module and the contacts module. An account is a company or an organization, and an account can have any number of contacts within that organization. Now, you have the ability to either create a contact just as you saw when we created the lead, just entering the data in manually, clicking save, but we can also import into any module, whether it's the leads or the contacts or the accounts. So for this, I've prepared an Excel spreadsheet, and you may well have your data in Excel spreadsheets anyway, but you can bring those directly into SuiteCRM. All you need to do is save them as a CSV file, a comma-separated values file, and once you've done that, you can then import them directly into SuiteCRM. Now, one of the field types in SuiteCRM is the drop-down. And a drop-down is where you can have a series of values. Now, if you're importing from an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file into SuiteCRM, and you're importing into a drop-down, you have to make sure that those values that you'd be bringing in are in the drop down for that particular field. We'll be covering fields in a later module. But for this one, I know for a fact that there are, under the lead source, I know that we've got, say, Meetup and BNI. So I'm adding those into the drop-down editor within the administrator. Once they're there, we can import those into the contact module. So we'll just go to the contacts, import contacts, find the file, and click on import. And then you'll see we can match or map the fields to the field headings in the CSV file itself. And once you've done that, you literally just click on import now, and you'll see we've now imported that spreadsheet directly into the SuiteCRM contacts module. If we click on any of the particular records we just pulled in, you'll see we've got the details, but also you'll notice that under the account name, it's actually created a record in the accounts module as well. So here we've got an account record, and you can see underneath the account record in the various panels underneath, we've got the various modules that are associated with the accounts module. One of those is the contact module, and it shows that we've got the original contact that we imported, but we can add multiple contacts per account. So here I'm just going to add another contact to the Sonic Dynamics record. Here we'll just put Kirsty Ely, we'll put her title in here, all her various details into the record, and again, you know, where it came from. All the details that we want to put in can be entered directly in there. We click on save, and then you'll see there are now 2 contacts for one accounts record. Click on the name, and it takes you straight into the contact record with all those details we just entered. Now moving on to the accounts module, you'll see that the import, while we imported into the contacts module, because we had an account field as well, it created accounts for all of the contacts. So the company that's associated with those contacts was also created. And if we go into an account record and then click on the contact within that record, it jumps to that particular contact. SuiteCRM gives you the ability to find records very easily just by clicking on the little search icon or the filter icon. You can do a quick filter, in which case you just type in the person's name, and once you've got the person's name in there, click on search, and it will find all the records that conform to that search criteria. As you can see here, we just found Linda. Click on the little checkbox, and that'll actually break out of the search, the filter. We can also do a more advanced filter, and that allows you to put in any type of criteria. On this one, I'm just going to say find all the lead source where it came from the BNI, and you can see 3 records were straight away found. We can go back in there and look for a different filter. This time let's do Meetup, so we want to find all of the records where the lead source was Meetup, and click on search, and again it will now filter that down by just people in the Meetup. But you can also do any kind of combination of searches. We could also do more than one search criteria within lead source. So we can select BNI and we can select Meetup. So basically we're looking for either Meetup or BNI. Click on search and you'll see it's found all the records that are either BNI or Meetup. Now there are very comprehensive searches you can do. That just gives you a very quick idea of how you can find a record or a selection of records very quickly. It's worth noting at this point that you can also save your searches. If you've done some complex filters, you can save those filters. You don't have to go through that process each time. You can have multiple search criteria. So if you wanted to just call up a list of all the people you've met at network meetings, you could save that as, say, network meetings, and then just go back in and pull that search anytime you need it. You can also switch columns around. You can add new fields to the columns. It's completely open to how you use the system. One of the most powerful features of a CRM system is its meeting, calendar, and task management, and SuiteCRM is no exception. It offers full multi-user calendars, multi-user task management, and you can create tasks and meetings and calendar events for employees, for users, for contacts, for anything within the system. So let's just go to a record, and here we're just going to create a quick task directly from a contact record. So you'll just go down to the activities section, click on create task. Now you're going to enter the subject, the start date and due date of the task. You have options for setting the priority, the status of the task, and what it refers to. You can see this one's automatically associated with the company Sonic Dynamics and the contact name Kirsty Ely. And then you need to just enter a description. What is the task about? That goes into the description section. Type whatever you need in there to describe the task. Click on save, and that is your task created. All of the tasks, meetings, activities, calls will be saved under the activities panel, so you'll never lose track of any activity, past and present. Now, meetings, tasks, activities, calls can happen for both contacts and leads within the system, but also for users of the system, for employees. So let's just add an extra user or an employee to the system. So here I've gone to the administrator section and clicked on add new user. And here we can add all the various details of the user, their name, their login name, their email address, any contact details, and also whether they are just a regular user or an administrator. We can add all sorts of other details, like what is their time zone, give them a password, and it just wants you to confirm that password. Click on save, and that will be a new user added to the system. Okay, so let's go back to contacts, and we're going to create a meeting for a particular contact. So we go back down to the activities. You can see we can log calls, make calls, but here we're going to just create a meeting, and we'll put in the subject of the meeting, the start date, end date, start date and time, end date and time. It'll automatically work out the duration of the meeting, and the status is planned, and so on. You can also see we can put in the location of the meeting, which will appear in the meeting report. We can also set reminders, so there can be a pop-up that comes to remind us, and also we can have email reminders, so it'll automatically send out emails, a day before, an hour before, however long before the meeting. And let's put in the description for the meeting. But we might also want someone else within the organization to be in that meeting. You can arrange meetings for multiple people, and to do that we click on that button that says full form, and here you can see now it shows you the meeting, but we can add other people to the meeting. Now Kirsty we just added as an employee or as a user, and you can see when they're a user you see the two little avatars instead of the one. If it's just one little icon for a person, that's a contact record within the system. When you see the two, that means it's a user of the system. So I can now add Kirsty as a user, but also we can now add someone by just typing in their last name, and that now adds Matt Franks to the meeting. And we click on save. That will have organized that meeting. That will be in the activities for Matt Franks. But at the same time, you'll notice if we go back to our dashboard on our home page, it's added all of these details. Our dashboard is now coming to life with tasks and meetings and so on, and the calendar is now showing that we've got these meetings and tasks set up.